Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Right. You've got systems. That's definitional of a franchise, right? And you would anyway. Where did you record them? How did you keep them before you now have 105 stores
100
or
Yeah,
whatever it is?
150, I think.
150?
Yeah. So
Anyway, where did you literally keep them? Did you write them in a notebook to begin with? And anyway, how did you actually do that?
yeah, so a few things. First off, the definition of a system is essentially I have the same outcome, right? So in terms of like, what is a system? If you think about a system from the perspective of like inputs and outputs, how do I get the same output every single time? Okay, there's a formula here. There's a reason why I sold that job. Is it because I shook their hand a certain way? Is it because I got the estimate at a certain time? Was it because the weather was like, there is a system for making that job close. There's the same way for every single aspect of the business. There is a way to close a job over the phone. There's a way to collect someone's credit card. There's a way to do everything. And so the very first thing I did before we franchised is I just listed everything I did in a day. And I'm like, we must create a system for all of these. That was in the playbooks for the franchise. So it's like, how do I do an estimate? How do I make an estimate video? How do I format the estimate? How do I send the estimate via email and text message? Like, it was just a matter of like figuring out what I did and then systematizing it. And it's simply, how do I get the same outcome every single time? And to find that, I'm going to look at where the outcome was wrong and where the outcome was right. So when I did close the job, what was I doing? When I did not get the job closed, what was I doing? Oh, don't do this, do these things. As a system as a whole, when we look at the definitions, I like to think of it as the easiest way to create a system, especially for someone that is like not trying to franchise and they don't need the granularity of every little thing spelled out. I would say to simplify it is like, there's two ways to create a system: simplify and standardization. So for example, I'm going to simplify services. Does that mean I'm going to create a system around I'm going to systematize my business. Does that mean I can only do really basic generic tasks like mowing grass? No, you can standardize the way that you install cabinets, the way that you install paver patios, the way that you install irrigation. These are more complicated, quote unquote, but you can standardize complexity. Because the worst business is complex and it's custom. Like, if you wanted to do the opposite of creating systems, it is custom and it is super complex. The opposite is simple and standardized. And so when you look at it, like if you split that in a 4x4 matrix, I just want to get as close as possible to being standard and simple. And so if you can't simplify things, usually you can standardize them. And when we first started this process of getting ready to franchise, it was like, okay, I can standardize paver patios. And we did. We got down to where we were only installing 2 designs and 1 color. That's it. And it sufficed 95% of customers. Same thing with walls. There's 2 types of blocks, 3 different types of colors. That's it. And somehow 98% of people that wanted a wall wanted those type. When we showed it to them and it showed them exactly what it was going to look like, suddenly that was the ones they wanted. So you can standardize, but then it was a matter of like, can I simplify that across 155 locations across the world? That's going to be more difficult. And that's when we started simplifying. But all of those things are just systems in the business. How do I get the same outcome?
So I think what Martin's also interested in hearing here is like literally where was it stored? Did you have a Google Doc? Was this on a piece of paper? Did you keep it in a drive? Did you have a software for this? And then how did you deploy it?
Yep. So in terms of documentation, like I love screen recordings, especially around admin. Any task that's done behind a computer, you should be recording it. You should name it. You should put it into a folder, make it searchable. Pretty simple. Like when we first started, before we even franchised, I just told the office like, hey, we're growing. I can't be doing this stuff anymore. I'm going to make a video of me going through my inbox. I'm going to make a video of me selling a job. I'm going to make a video of doing follow-ups. I'm going to make a video of invoicing, scheduling, routing, dispatch, every single thing. And I'm going to name that video title in a folder. And so, now the cloud's around, so we can put it in Loom. You can put it in Google Drive. You can make a YouTube channel around it and make it private. And then make it searchable. So the big thing is searchability. So like even recently inside the franchise, fast forward to today, we recently created our academy for our franchisees where every single word in every single video is searchable. Because the whole value of systems is, can I find them when I need them? Like, you can have a great hammer, but if you can't find the hammer when you need it,
Got to have a system to find them.
exactly. And so using AI now, we can scrub every video. Someone can search, man, I know it's something to do with the estimate calculator, but I want to know about mulch specifically. Okay, mulch estimate calculator in the search bar. Oh, this one video at minute 48, Mike mentioned it or someone mentioned it. And so that's really the goal is first off, rudimentary documentation using screen recording. Then I would put it into a database that's searchable. Those would be kind of like, grade 1 and grade 2 of standardization.
Are you now using Mike AI inside of there where you can chat with your systems essentially?
Dude, that'd be cool. We've thought about this. The challenging part is there's sometimes I believe that AI can give advice. Like, so we've ran this model, right? So because we have the transcripts. So like we could do this.
Yeah.
We could make a model. It's like, should I do X or should I do Y based upon these things? What I have seen is it is not confident in its answers. Whereas a coach, someone that has these inputs, has done it before, can confidently say, you should raise your prices.
Yeah.
And here's why. Versus an agent that most people just don't trust it. They do not trust it enough, and it is not confident enough to actually tell them what to do. And so when we create frameworks, we try to make it where it is based on just the numbers. It's like, if X, do Y. If Y, do Z. And so technically AI can take that predictive nature and just tell people what to do. And that's what we're trying to do with Copilot. But even still, we as humans want to hear from someone else that's done it before and we have full confidence in, and they have a reputation with us. And this is why we still have the very manual process of doing monthly coaching calls one-on-one with owners, because they still need that.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, might be there, might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.